Hey, sixth graders, it's Miss Gregory. We are working on rounding whole numbers and decimals. The standard this goes with, you can see written in bright green, and these are under fifth grade review. But these are skills you need to move forward with our sixth grade curriculum. Remember the supplies that you need today. Notice I'm also asking you to have a red and green pen or color pencil or something that's red and something that's green to aid our rounding today. Alright, here's where you start writing. You see the pencil icon and the notebook paper. So your title should be Rounding Review. And here are the rules. Of course, you learned the little song. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 means you stay. You are not moving up. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 are the numbers that indicate to go up to the next number. Alright, so the little tune is 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. If you are still copying, pause here and wait until everything is copied before moving on to the next page. And of course, I am continuing my slide. You are continuing on your paper. No need to write the rounding review at the top. But the pencil means you are continuing to write. So we've taken this number, 5,492. I'm noting the place values in case you have forgotten, which is the ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Okay, some examples I need you to write down, and also make sure you pause and get everything on the page. If you are rounding to the nearest hundred, note that I underlined the hundreds place. I draw my arrow to the right. One number behind is like my indicator number. That number is going to tell me whether I stay or whether I go. 9 falls under the go up. So I would round this number to 5,500. The next example, rounding to the nearest thousand. Okay, so different place value, underline first, always the place value they want you to round to. Draw your arrow to the number behind it. That is the indicator number to tell you whether you stay at the number or whether you go up to the next. Okay, again, make sure you've copied everything on this page before moving forward. Now we're talking about rounding decimals. Okay, so again, please take note you are writing everything down on this page and you need to pause before you move to the next page and get everything copied down. A review of place values is given. Remember, everything to the left of the decimal is expressed as whole numbers. Everything to the right of the decimal is like a fractional part. So notice the number 5 is in the tenths place. The 3 is in the hundredths place, and the 7 is in the thousandths place. It is getting smaller as we continue to add digits to the right of the decimal place. Look at the example for rounding to the nearest hundredth. And again, notice I'm underlining the hundredths place. I'm pointing to the number 7, which does tell me to round up. So my answer would be 12 and 54 hundredths. The next example says round to the nearest whole number. And again, I'm going to underline the 2, which is in the ones place. I need to look at the 5, which is behind it. The 5 or more tells me to go up. And so the nearest whole number, this would be rounded to 13. You'll be asked to round all the way out to the thousandths place. So we will do extra practice beyond this in class. If you have copied everything, then move on. If not, pause. Okay, I would like for you to write these practice problems down because there's not examples in the book that we're using this year in sixth grade. So I've worked some out. Your directions are to write down the problems and the directions, show any work necessary, and then box in, highlight the answer. Okay, so take a moment, Pause now. Do everything that's asked of you without peeking or cheating. Make sure that you answer all of the questions. There is 1, parts A, B, 2, parts A, B, and C, and 3, parts A, B, and C. And notice you are rounding to different place values. So stop and do all of these before you move on to the next page. Thank you. Okay, now it's your turn to check your answers. If you don't have the correct answer, make sure you take time to copy down the correct answer, that you understand it. If you still don't understand it, this is what you need to ask me when you come back to class tomorrow. Okay, so take time to check 1 and 2 and 3. Pause if you need to before you move on. All right, how well did you score yourself? I want you to rate yourself on this scale. 0, you missed most of them. 1, I got a few correct, but I still need some help. Rate yourself a 2. If you partially know it, you know some, not everything. 3, your target goal, you're ready to move on, you're a math master. 4, even better, beyond that, you know it and you can teach it to someone else. So rate yourself based on how many you scored correctly. And this is it for training your brain. See you in class tomorrow. Bye, guys.